Horror Lies.
Hey guys, Rob from Georgia here with you, aka VHS82 apostrophe. I'm your regular Wednesday evening host here at Body Bags. It is week 572. It is a potpourri of labels, meaning we just run whatever we want to run with. I initially had thought about speaking just a moment on Stereo, a short film by David Cronenberg. You can find that on the Criterion release of Scanners, as well as a couple other places, I think, if you look hard enough. But I just, in the end, wasn't in the mood for it. What I was in the mood to take a good look at was Incidents in an Expanding Universe, a 45-minute short film directed by Richard Stanley as sort of a preface of sorts to Hardware, directed back in 1985. Well, so I want to talk about that and talk about Severin here real quick in a really super short, as I am in a 31 Days of Horror mind mode set. So here's what I settled on. This is the 2-disc special edition of Hardware. Among many things, you've got No Flesh Shall Be Spared documentary, right? You've got the one that I've already mentioned, Incidents in an Expanding Universe, the early Super 8 version of Hardware. A Sea of Perdition, another short film from 2006, writes, which, by the way, is the same year Severin was founded, which is interesting. Rites of Passage, an early Richard Stanley short film, as well as his thoughts on Hardware 2, which is interesting, deleted extended scenes, and an audio commentary by the Richard Stanley. And so this is why we go boutique labels. This is why we collect physical media. This is why we go after these things. It opens up in to take off his short film title, it opens up in an expanding universe of the things that we love. And Hardware is a film that I absolutely love. And so to see Incidents in an Expanding Universe as an early sort of preface to Hardware, or early thoughts being worked out on film in a very, very rudimentary way, it does offer some interesting insights into where he was ultimately going to go with Hardware, which makes it a really interesting 45-minute watch. But a couple words. This is a potpourri of labels right in. So Severin are known for tons of stuff. Just a couple out of my collection: The Wild Beasts, some Italian goodness. This Burial Ground, Bianchi. Man. Fulci for Fake. Just a couple, right? But when we talk about Severin, they are an American independent film production and distribution of cult films. First founded in 2006, back in 18 years ago. Carl Daft, David Gregory, John Cregan are the three men most responsible. They got offices in New York City, Los Angeles, London. So, you know, their reach is pretty far and wide. The one thing I love about Severin, aside from their just stacking the extras, the goodies on their releases, is if you go onto YouTube and search up the Severin Cellar, if you go into their playlist in their site on YouTube, you'll find there's a playlist for this. Not near as many as you would like, but enough to get you started. And basically what the Severin Cellar is they bring in a filmmaker, somebody important to film, to come into their cellar and just pick out a bunch of random movies, but not so random, in which they speak of just a little bit, which is just sometimes extraordinary. The one that sticks out in my mind is Joe Begos was invited into the cellar, but Gasparino, I think, was one of the first ones. Sean Hogan is one of the last ones to go in there. And it's something I hope and wish they would do more and more and more of. It's a really fascinating way of just not just breaking into Severin as a company in terms of what we may or may not buy from them, but also other filmmakers and other films, of course, that Severin has put out, and their comment on why those films are important to them, right? It's interesting. And so that is something I wish they would do more of. And they're not the only ones that do the cellar approach. Criterion, and seems like there's a couple others I'm not thinking of right now. But in terms of incidents in an expanding universe, what you really have here in terms of a short synopsis is the year is 2037. A rugged soldier, Max, and a weary sculptress, Nikki, try to sustain a relationship in a bleak totalitarian future of war, nuclear fallout, and overpopulation. And so you kind of get their relationship established somewhat via this short 45-minute film. A little hints sprinkled throughout of things that we get with hardware. There's no killer robot or anything like that, no Mark 13. But there are things in there that short films are awesome, man. A Boy and His Bicycle, Ridley Scott's first short film, that you can find on his the DVD release of The Duelist, which is an extraordinary short film, with him and Tony collaborated together on it. Ken Hill, thinking the director, Jack Hill, or Jack, I always get it mixed up. The director of Spider Baby, on the Arrow release of Spider Baby, also has one of his short films on there that's just an extraordinary piece to look at. And so, the one thing I wanted to raise to your attention more than anything, we'll close out here, is just the awesomeness that physical media has, that streaming just can't give you. It allows you to explore films, your favorite films, in ways that you, quite frankly, you can't with streaming. So just a few words on that. Here in did I say 572? Yeah, 572, week 572. At the end of the month, theme week is going to be our essential Halloween watches. That ought to be interesting. So enjoy your October. Enjoy all of the 31 days of October. So much content is dropping this month because of Halloween and in our beloved genre that is horror. It's good stuff. As always, we end these things off with Go Bills and Happy Halloween.
This is not a dream. Not a dream. We might be useful to